gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I shook up the wall. I shook up the wall.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's why I said, Larry, on the bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you can call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition on Split Decision. Today, we're going to talk about the biggest news of the year. Wilder versus Fury. The day have been reserved for July 24th. The fight has to happen by September 15th, which this whole mediation / arbitration, that all have been just a waste of time. New media told you guys the fight was going to take place. Old media told you guys otherwise. However, the truth prevails, which is why new media still undefeated, because the truth is undefeated. This ain't, it don't take a genius to figure this out. If there's a rematch clause in place, Tyson Fury has to honor the rematch clause. With that being said, we're going to talk about Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, all of their reactions and many more today on Split Decision. So go ahead and call in to hold your position and to talk about the biggest news of the year for the biggest fight that's going to take place this year, Wilder versus Fury Trilogy. This fight is going to set a tone. Wilder knocks out Fury, further confirms Fury cheating. If Fury can't replicate what he did in the second fight, he will be exposed for the cheater of the century that he is. On the other hand, if Fury pulls off the victory, guess what? Then obviously the Fury fans is going to claim, well, if Fury cheated the second time, he was able to beat him without cheating the third time. So what's the difference? If he cheated or he didn't cheat, he won, right? So there's a lot riding on this win. There's been a whole lot of double standards. There's been a whole lot of covering up, but you can't stop God's plan. And the truth will always get to its destination, just like the wave of the ocean. With that being said, subscribe below, click on the notification bell, and go ahead and call in. The number is in the description box. All you got to do is just dial in the number and the code, and voice your opinion on the trilogy / what the whole drama that's been taking place. I mean, we never seen this before in the sport, where someone trying to not honor the rematch clause, and it's been taking a year and a half for Fury to escape, and now he can no longer escape. Tyson Fury viewing the trilogy as his most difficult fight and his most dangerous threat at this moment in time. According to Fury said Wilder Trilogy is harder than an Anthony Joshua fight. We're going to talk about all of the above for the meantime.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Man, I keep showing me love off the gate, man. Appreciate it, my man. Duran, he said, can we talk about the white reporters coming up with ways for Fury to run? Well, guess what? Fury can run. I mean, he is running for his life. However, Tyson Fury could run, but he can't hide. We can still see you. We can see you. We saw you when you cheated, And we can still see you right now when you're trying to run. You can run, but you can't hide. And you definitely can't hide from the truth. And the old media, I mean, it's so beautiful for old media to be forced to face the truth that they've been living in denial. I mean, we're going to talk about it, man. We I just can't wait to talk about all of the above. OG Swag blessing me with that Toronto guap. RIP to the 100,000 UK fanboys that jumped into the English channel yesterday. Yes, sir. RIP. My condolences goes out to the 100,000 decafs that committed suicide when they heard Fury is not going to have to face justice on the Judgment Day during Trilogy. See, they didn't want this fight to happen, and now as a lot of decafs and old media members committed suicide to this news, or even fall into depression, you name it. So, RIP to them guys. But appreciate the love and support. Go ahead and call in to hold your position. Let me pick up the first caller. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is, and where are you calling from?
What's going on, AKHi? This is Joey from South Florida.
Joey, what's going on? Now, first of all, you know, I do want to let the people in the chat, man, we really got to celebrate with a decaf today, man. You know, so we have to find a decaf to call in. Like, we really got to talk to a decaf today so we can hear their opinion on the matter, since they've been claiming Fury smashed Wilder and now he went the other direction. But obviously, the arbitration stopped that from happening. So I really want to hear what the decafs have to say that's still alive. So with that being said, please call in. You know, we just want to, I mean, it's called Split Decision. The show's Split Decision for a reason. It's my take, your take. However, at the end of the day, the truth separate. Shout out to Doggy Pup for the super chat. Like I said, shout out to everybody. OG Swag, Boxing, and everybody in the chat box. Shout out to Jose Diaz. I appreciate the love and support. But let's get straight to it. So Bob Arum, he calls Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder ruling as far as the arbitration. He said it was preposterous. So he claiming that the arbitrator judge, he made a ridiculous decision. Now, what's preposterous to me is that Fury tried to escape the trilogy instead of honoring the rematch clause, knowing that a rematch clause is in place. Why would you not honor the rematch clause? I mean, he could have got Wilder out of the way, made 50 to 75 million doing so, and then fought Anthony Joshua afterwards. He could have stayed active, got 50 to 75 million fighting Wilder in the trilogy, and obviously and then fight Anthony Joshua for more money, right? But exactly. So what's your take on what Bob said, first of all?
I mean, look, this all comes down to the fact that Tyson Fury didn't fight Deontay Wilder when he should have. Because, like, when you really got to think about it, I wasn't too keen on the fact that Tyson Fury was going to face AJ on an 18th-month layoff. He was going to face Anthony Joshua. And like fighting Deontay Wilder prior to that, another top fighter at heavyweight, that just would have made him fresh, would have made him ready and prepared to face AJ. So the fact that he chose not to face him, even though he quote-unquote already smashed him, leads the question, why not just fight him a third time if the second fight was so easy? If you did it before, why can't you do it again? And like Tyson Fury already stated in the past, I don't remember exactly when, but I remember there was a time where people said that Tyson Fury should give Deontay Wilder step-aside money, and Tyson Fury said, screw the step-aside money, I'll smash Deontay Wilder a third time. And then the more information came up about him potentially cheating, and then he stated that he'd never fight Deontay Wilder in the ring again.
Exactly. That's what came up to his decision. So So when Bob Arum comes out and said the judge ruling was preposterous, is Bob Arum telling the fans in 2020 that he's going to postpone. He requested to postpone the trilogy until 2021. This is what Bob did. Him and Tyson Fury, they said Tyson Fury and the network are not interested to fight without a crowd. So they continue to postpone the fight until 2021. This is what Bob said out of his own mouth. And then when October, when I think supposedly there was an expiration date for October for them to, come to a mutual agreement. And then obviously by that date, after Bob agreed they're going to postpone the fight till 2021, all of a sudden he's saying, oh, Wilder don't have a case no more. The rematch clause date is up, is expired. Tyson Fury is free to go where he wants to go. See, what happened was Tyson Fury realized, man, his cheating method got exposed, so he could no longer cheat. So if he had to fight Deontay Wilder a third time on an even playing field, he was willing to do whatever it takes to escape the trilogy instead of fighting Deontay Wilder. That's why his energy changed, and all of a sudden he tried to escape the trilogy, right? So during that whole time, I mean, Bob Arum kept telling the public, listen, the mediation is not going to do anything. Remember, the Tyson Fury was trying to fight Kabali back in December 5th. So it made no sense for Tyson Fury to fight Kabali when he could have easily fought Deontay Wilder again for more money on December 5th. And then obviously Deontay Wilder mediation stopped that from coming to fruition. And then later on, after the mediation, the whole purpose of mediation is for them to come to a mutual agreement. So now Bob Arum claiming that, or that's news of Tyson Fury, he's trying to pay Deontay Wilder step aside money. If Wilder was going to take step aside money, he would have took it back during mediation, because mediation is a mutual agreement between parties. It's not as serious as the arbitration. So Wilder told the arbitration, the mediator judge, he said, I want my shit back in blood. He want his revenge back in blood. It ain't even about money. It's about pride. It's bigger than that. He felt like he got cheated. So it's not about money at the end of the day. Plus, he's gonna make up to $50 million fighting Tyson Fury in a trilogy anyway. So Tyson Fury tried to pay Deontay Wilder step aside money. Wilder wouldn't take it, which went to arbitration right away. When it went to arbitration, Frank Warren said, listen, the arbitration could stop the AJ fight from coming to fruition. He was honest with the public, which is Tyson Fury promoted back in the UK. However, Bob Arum kept deceiving the public. He kept telling the public that the arbitration can't prevent Tyson Fury from fighting Anthony Joshua in the UK. Now, mind you, Bob Arum is a lawyer. Like, we're talking about a person he's not just a promoter. He's a lawyer. That was his first job to begin with. And then he became a promoter, the president of Top Rank. So a lawyer from Harvard, if I'm not mistaken, how can he not know that the arbitration is not going to prevent, the fight with AJ, knowing that he promised Wilder the trilogy fight in 2021. So it wasn't making sense what Bob was saying. It sounded like he was trying to side with Tyson Fury. He's just being political, because Tyson Fury said out of his own mouth, I will never fight Deontay Wilder again. I will never fight him again. He told the mediator that. He told Bob that. He told the arbitration judge that. However, Bob eventually changed his tune. He went from claiming the arbitration can't prevent the AJ fight from coming to fruition to, I bet you the AJ fight is not next. Most likely he gonna fight Deontay Wilder. This is what he said last week. This is what Bob was informing the public, is that he was betting that the AJ fight wasn't gonna come to fruition. So there was a change of energy all of a sudden. So it's ridiculous for Bob to make that claim of the ruling when he was previewed to everything that was taking place of the rematch clause bonding Fury to a trilogy. You can't just break the law. I mean, damn, I know Tyson Fury got the hope insurance in his pocket, but man, you're trying to break the law? Like you could do it with old media. Your hope insurance is going to benefit you with old media, but it's not going to benefit you in the court of law. That's why I said if the glove gate would have went to a court, if Wilder sued Tyson Fury for cheating, he wouldn't be able to use all these deflection tactics and allow and get these benefit of the doubts by old media the way he does. The judge is going to have, the judge is definitely going to do his job. You know what I'm saying? But Wilder said he want to get his revenge back in blood, which and eventually during the arbitration, Bob Arum and Tyson Fury were told, you guys going to have to fight Deontay Wilder. This is why Bob said recently the arbitration went from arbitration to negotiations. And obviously now the decision came out yesterday that Tyson Fury owes Deontay Wilder a fight. Tyson Fury was ordered to fight Deontay Wilder by September 15th. This is a final decision for the people that don't know. The arbitration is a final decision. There's no negotiation back and forth about Tyson Fury paying Deontay Wilder step aside money, stuff like that, because Wilder already said, no more talking. I want to get my shit back in blood. So now the next step is negotiating a fight, which is why Top Rank have reserved a date for July 24th. So with that being said, what's your take on, just Bob Arum flip-flopping? Is it just because he's playing politics? He's trying to be on Tyson Fury's side because he's his promoter, and he's just too old to remember the lie he told yesterday? Because Bob was one of the people that said, I lied yesterday, but today I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, man, I'm just tired of this. I just feel as if this whole AJ versus Fury thing was just a big waste of time. This whole time for 7 months, people were under the assumption that this fight was really going to happen, only to find out the day after the fight was quote-unquote announced by Tyson Fury himself that this fight is actually going to either be put on hold or just not happen at all because Tyson Fury has to face Deontay Wilder first because of the arbitration case. So it's just unfortunate, and I'm just annoyed by the fact that this had to take place to begin with. I wish that this fight would have just happened earlier at the end of 2020 or early 2021, and then we wouldn't have to be dealing with this now at nearly the end of 2021 already. This is ridiculous. How much longer are we going to have to wait for this? Like, why didn't you just do this before? This could have saved us a lot of trouble. That's what people don't want to ask. They don't want to ask a simple question. Like, if this was why didn't Fury just fight Wilder? Why didn't he just do that? That's still a big money fight. You can make around 30 to 50 million for that fight and then face AJ for undisputed. If you did it before, you can do it again. If you did it legitimately. So the fact that you chose not to do it a third time, because it's not as if that second fight was a split decision win for where you have a lot to lose. No, you quote unquote knocked him out easily. So if you did it before, so you should be able to do that again. That whole time you were so confident you were going to win. Where's that confidence now for a third fight with Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said before, Tyson Fury and his whole team could have saved themselves a whole lot of trouble, and the fans and the public, by just doing the right thing and fighting Wilder for the third time, make a lot of money, stay active, whip some ass, and move on and fight AJ after that. It made no sense at all. If put it this way, if Fury did the right thing and fought Wilder, we will have the AJ fight by now. He will be facing AJ right now as we speak. If Fury fought Wilder when he was supposed to, instead of trying to go to court and fought him for like a year and for 6 months or more than 6 months in court just to escape, and he couldn't escape. If Fury did the right thing and fought Deontay Wilder, he could be facing AJ as we speak, or he probably could have fought AJ by now, and now they could have been setting up a rematch as we speak. So it lets you know that they obviously in the wrong, and there was too much evidence on Deontay Wilder's side. That's why the judge ordered Tyson Fury to do the right thing, which is honor his rematch clause. With that being said, Bob Arum stated that he is not going to pay Deontay Wilder step-aside money. He said that the plan is to move ahead with Fury versus Anthony Joshua in August and try to sell Wilder on facing the winner in November or December. So in other words, he's trying to have Fury fight Joshua in August and structure a deal where Wilder faces the winner in December or November, which is absolutely ridiculous. Why will Wilder want to do that when he's already in position to fight Fury? Like, the decision is on his side. He don't got to do anything Bob Arum tells him to do. So you telling me you ain't going to pay Wilder no money and you just going to bypass him after the judge ordered Tyson Fury to fight him? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, does it?
No, I don't see Wilder taking that deal.
Yeah.
Doesn't really, he gets less, I feel like he has less to gain from fighting them afterwards instead of fighting them before. I'm pretty sure Wilder wants to be in that undisputed fight. He doesn't want to fight the winner of it.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer at this moment in time. So I think also let me give you the final thing Bob said. So Bob also stated, which as far as the step aside money, like I said before, Deontay Wilder already responded on his Instagram. He said, no mas, no more talking. I want to get my shit back in blood. So Wilder is not talking about none of this step aside money. Like I said, it's not even about money at this moment in time. It's he got cheated. It's bigger than just money. It's bigger than all of that. It's about legacy. It's about restoring your image. I mean, let's all be honest here. Deontay Wilder, his own people turned their back on him. You see Trollo clowning him, one of his best friends. You see so many people turning their back on him. I'm talking about people he messed with heavy, and I know, because Wilder said at one point Jamal Trollo is a mini version of him because he got the same confidence he do. You see, like, one of his best friends in the boxing industry turn his back on him just to cater in to the fans. So, I mean, forget about the decaf, because we already know what time it is. Tyson Fury fans aren't really Tyson Fury fans. They just Deontay Wilder haters. But they obviously cloned as a Tyson Fury fan. They cloned themselves as a Tyson Fury fan when all along they just Deontay Wilder haters. But forget about those. We already know what time it is with the recaps. This victory is bigger than ever for them. But more importantly, Deontay Wilder's own people turn their back on him. In the boxing industry, you see everyone afraid to speak on the matter. The only one that spoke on this in a positive light, where they said, "Look, yeah, it's possible. It's possible Fury cheated," was Amir Khan. Amir Khan said that, it's possible. Spencer, shout out to Joey Spencer, and he broke it down too, and also I think Devin said he said anything is possible. Devin said, he said anything is possible. I mean, fighters cheated in the past, so it's only a handful of people. But like I said, this is about restoring your image. If Wilder pulls off this victory, especially by a knockout, this will go down as the biggest win of the century, because what's on the line? Wilder accusing Tyson Fury of cheating. The public telling him, "You crazy. Man, he didn't cheat you." Wilder is trying to fight Tyson Fury again. He activated his rematch clause a week after the fight. A week after the rematch, Wilder activated his rematch clause. The public telling him, "You crazy. He don't owe you a fight. You allowed your rematch clause to expire." When all along it was Tyson Fury and his team that was requesting to postpone the fight. And it was public information. But they telling Wilder, "You crazy. You this, you that." And they called him all type of names, told him, "You should have did this, you should have did that." And when he didn't even say nothing. They say actions speak louder than words. Wilder was just moving with silence, making all type of actions. But they said he crazy. They were claiming that he let his rematch clause run out when he activated it a week after the rematch. So again, this fight means everything for Wilder. I'm pretty sure he will do whatever it takes to win the fight, because the main thing is make sure everything is on even playing fields. I wouldn't even do VADA testing or the WBC testing where they increase the computer roll limit a fighter can have in his system. I will do Olympic style drug testing, USADA. I will check his gloves, and like Tupac said, all eyes on me. You best believe when the trilogy date arrives, the judgment day, all eyes will be on Tyson Fury gloves. Let me read the super chat real quick. My man said, can Fury drop the belt and fight AJ anyway? I think if he could have, he would have did it by now. He wouldn't pay millions of dollars to lawyers and be fighting a case where he's willing to pay Wilder millions of step aside money. Like I'm talking about, we ain't talking about 5-10 million. We talking about 30, 50, 80 million. If he's willing to pay that type of money and paying lawyers millions of dollars, yeah, he would have threw that belt if he could have. He would have definitely threw that belt to the trash if he could have. But I don't see him escaping justice. Like I said, you could run, but you can't hide. You can't hide from God plan. Any last thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. When I heard the news, I was just pissed off simply based off the fact that this, like I said before, this whole AJ Fury thing was a big waste of time. Why was this fight so gone after so harshly if you guys knew in the back of your heads that Wilder versus Fury wasn't done yet? If the arbitration case had been settled in favor of Fury, that would have been one thing. But the fact that during this whole time of negotiating with AJ's team, going to Saudi Arabia, making these site fees, getting the money in, only for the next day after the fight is quote unquote announced, you hear that the arbitration case is over in favor of Wilder. It's just like, what did you do? For 6 months, these fans have been waiting for this fight to be announced, and the day that we have a fight date, that we have all this, we hear that fight's not going to happen because you guys thought that you were going to win the arbitration case, that it wasn't going to affect the AJ fight. Yeah. And yet, prior to that happening, just a few weeks before, you see Bob Arum say that fight, the AJ fight's probably not going to happen. We're probably going to see Deontay Wilder, and he's blaming it on Eddie Hearn. And I mean, I'm not going to say Eddie Hearn is not to blame, because even though Tyson Fury is not Eddie Hearn's fighter, that's not his obligation. Eddie Hearn's not stupid, and I'm pretty sure if he would have known that how serious, if he knows how serious this arbitration is and how it could have got in the way of all this time and money wasted, I'm sure he probably would have avoided doing all this. But who knows? Maybe he was just hoping that Fury's team would win this like they said they would, but apparently they didn't.
And you talking about, I mean, yeah, I'm going to talk about Eddie later on, but you talking about the post Tyson Fury posted a day after he was ordered to fight Deontay Wilder in the Trilogy. You talking about the post where Fury said, yeah, let's go to Saudi. I'll see y'all in Saudi August 14th, right?
Actually, I'm talking about back-to-back posts. I'm talking about that post and the day after when he posted a picture of him and AJ saying undisputed, and then 5 hours later, you hear that Deontay Wilder won the arbitration. It was kind of just hilarious to me.
Yeah, see, and how many times have Fury lied? You know, I mean, he done lied to the public 1,000,000 times. They still believe him. However, Wilder never lied to us. But all of a sudden, he a crazy man. But Fury done lied to the public 1,000,000 times. This is a perfect example. Like Fury was informed he's ordered to fight Wilder in a Trilogy, and he posts that. Instead, he posts the fight with AJ as an undisputed. It makes no sense at all. Remember, he previous to the information, he knows what's taking place. Like we don't. He do. He knows. I mean, I'm talking about the moment Bob Arum knows what's going on. Obviously, he's going to inform Fury. So he previous to the information before we do. However, he chooses to do that. I don't know what's his plan. He's still trying to escape the Wilder fight. But again, the fact that he's trying to escape the Wilder Trilogy, like he's trying to escape death. Like, why are you running from Wilder so bad? I mean, it was supposed to be your easiest fight of your career. You're treating Wilder like like a person trying to run away from death. It's destiny. That Trilogy is destiny. just like when your time will be up. So, man, like I said before, the public continues to believe Tyson Fury, regardless of how many times he lies, and they refuse to accept the truth that's coming from Wilder, even though he never lied. But again, that's the time we're living in. But with that being said, I got a lot of callers on the line, Joey. We definitely gonna go live. I'm gonna go live again, but I do want to pick up a lot of these calls. Hopefully, a decaf is on the line somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully it's that dude who tried to pretend he didn't call in last time. Hopefully it's him.
He called in. Trust me. Yeah, he called in before. Trust me, I bodied that dude a million times. That's why I recognize his voice. He gonna try to play me like a fool, and that's how you know you called in before, but you don't even got the cojones to say, yeah, I called in. Like, okay, like, bro, you called in. What's the big deal? I know you already got your ass whooped on more than one occasion. It's okay. You come back and you get your ass whooped again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we do this for a living, but appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, Joey.
Appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The phone lines are booming. So how you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where you calling from?
I'm on AKHi?
Yes, yeah, you live.
What's going on, AKHi? It's Eric from South Florida as well. What's going on?
What's going on, Eric? Well, let me hit you with some more crazy news by Bob Arum. He revealed that Top Rank have reserved a date, which is July 24th, for the trilogy between Wilder and Tyson Fury. He said, we're not paying Wilder to step aside. It's better to get rid of him. We can make Fury versus AJ for November or December. What's your take on the comments?
How realistic do you think that happens that day?
Huh? Say it again.
How realistic do you think it happens on July? I think there's no way it happens in July. We're almost 2 months. We're less than 2 months away from that date.
No, we still got 2 months.
I mean, the way Fury was looking. I mean, Wilder looks like he's in shape. But I don't think Fury ready for that date.
Well, he was ready for AJ for that date, supposedly.
That's when they were going to have that date?
Yeah, the AJ fight was supposed to take place in June. Then they postponed it to July. Okay. Then they postponed it to August. So it was around the same time anyway. So July, I mean, we in August.
Yeah, that's my confusion.
I mean, excuse me, we're not in August. We in May 18th. If I'm not mistaken, this is today is May 18th. So July 24th is more than 2 months away. So they have 2 months. Yeah, 2 months is like preparation time. You still got 2 months. I mean, every fighter needs 2 months to prepare for a fight. So Fury been training, therefore he still have 2 months to train more. And till that 2 month period, they could negotiate the deal. Remember, the rematch clause is already in place. So it ain't like they have to work the money, agree to the splits. Everything is already in place. Everything is already in order. That's why there's a rematch clause in place. So all Tyson Fury have to do is honor the rematch clause and the fight is on. So they don't got to negotiate the venue, this and that, and the third. The pay-per-view splits are everything is already agreed to. Put it that way. So the only thing that was blocking the fight from coming to fruition was Fury running from Deontay Wilder trilogy. That was the only thing that was holding the fight from coming to fruition. So, but my question to you is more so, what's your take on Bob? I mean, yesterday he said we're not paying Wilder step aside money. We're gonna fight AJ in August, and hopefully we present an offer for Wilder to face the winner in December or November. That's what Bob was saying yesterday, and now today he's saying we're gonna smash Wilder, and then we're gonna fight AJ after that. We're gonna get him out of the way. We're not gonna pay him step aside money. What's your thoughts on him just constantly? Like, I mean, Bob keep flip flopping.
I mean, I think it just finally set in with him that the fight's gonna happen. So he's got to change his tone. But he's like, were they running from him, and now they're saying, "Fuck it, we going all out. We're going all in on it." I mean, in reality, it's like what Joey was saying, man. It's like they should have bank fought a long time ago. Like the crowds didn't matter. I mean, I get that they want the crowds. Obviously, it's good for the gate, extra 5-10 million. But still, bro, that's a fight that should have been happening. The pay-per-views would have been through the roof. All the shit talking from Wilder saying he was a cheater. The press conference would have been freaking through the roof.
Man.
Like, the hype was there. It's like you say, bro. Like, personally, I don't know if he cheated, but like the way he acts and the way he runs, it makes it seem like he does. Like he doesn't help himself.
Well,
like if he won it fair and square, he should have been fought him a long time ago.
But I'm just curious why you don't think why you don't know if he cheated or not. I'm just curious.
No, I've seen all your videos. Like I've seen everything you put, which looks factual. Just like, I mean, like I always like to just read other things, like just see what everybody's thinking. Like the only one that really talks about it is you and Barbershop. Barbershop talks about it a bit, where they still think he's a cheating fuck.
Deontay Boxing Nation.
They talk about it, and I'm like,
my question,
I just want to see the third fight.
Okay, but I'm saying, so do you think Tyson Fury cheated?
Do I think he cheated? I mean, do I think he cheated? I mean, I don't really get into an argument like that. I do think that there's a chance that he really did cheat. Because your gloves don't look like that when you're punching people in any fight, even the Canelo fight. But Canelo's gloves solid as a rock. Like everybody that punches, you don't see no flash, no nothing. They zoom in on all the cameras in every fight. And I see your pictures right here. Like I'm looking at the live stream right here. Like you see with the red circle, you see his gloves all smushed in. Like
right. So
and who his manager is, like the type of people that they deal with. Like anything's possible with those people.
Right. So so you do think he cheated? So you do think
I do? I think it's a high possibility that it's. I don't think that it's like a certain, but I think there's definitely too much evidence to be that can't be ignored.
Well, okay, so you don't
like
think
you get me like
you don't think it's
100%?
You don't think it's 100%?
I mean, nothing's 100%. Like, but what makes me more leaning toward that he did cheat is all this shit talking that he does, where he's like, "Oh, I'll beat his ass. I'll do this. I didn't cheat this and that." If you didn't cheat, you guys would have made a lot of money. Why aren't you fight?
Yeah.
That's just how I look at it.
Right.
What makes me skeptical. Like,
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's an eye opener for a lot of people that you know that don't even like believe it. They're still living in denial. They're like refuse to believe it and see how Fury is acting and behaving. It's definitely an eye opener where you start questioning yourself. Man, why is he running from Wilder like that? You know. So, but
like they're both gonna make a lot of money.
Right.
They're both gonna make ridiculous money.
Right. But what I want to ask you is, if someone shows you a footage of your girlfriend cheating on you, would you believe it, or you would be like, nah, it's not 100%. I don't believe it.
I mean, if there's video of her, I don't want to be vulgar, but if there's video in the action, bro, there's no denying.
And that's what I'm saying. That's footage
like,
of Tyson Fury.
I feel like that one's like a little bit. I feel like that one's a little bit weird because like that one, like it's like a certain. Yeah. Like with the commission and shit, like there's a lot of shady ass shit that goes on there. So like I'm on your side where I believe that he for sure probably cheated. But like I just want to see the third fight, just done with the bullshit. Like let's just prove it mano y mano and let's see what happens.
Exactly. But
let's see who the real man is.
That's what I'm saying. And there's footage of Wilder when he fought Tyson Fury the first time, the glove bending in 90 degrees. And there's, you can see
right here,
you can see it. The glove is not natural for the glove to bend in 90 to 100 degrees. It's not physically possible. Your wrist can't bend that far, especially with the way the gloves are made. The palm is connected to the rest of the glove. Yeah, the glove. So it's not possible. It's not physically possible for your hand to bend like that when the glove palm is connected to the rest of to the rest of the glove. So again, like I said, this is why Tyson Fury is running for his life, but Judgment Day is due. And like I said, at the end of the day, you could cheat your way to success. Don't get me wrong. You could cheat your way and cut corners to get to the top, but you're not gonna be able to maintain that for a very long time because you cut major corners, and that's what Fury did. He cut major corners because He knows all the cheating codes. There's a lot of loopholes in the sport of boxing, so he took advantage of them. Like you brought up the commission, the same commission that was allowing Maidana to wear, while the same commission that allowed Maidana, I think his name. Excuse me.
Yeah.
They allowed Maidana to. They tried. I think they approved the gloves. Let me say it that way. They approved the gloves that were highly suspicious when he was trying to fight Floyd. And Floyd said, I fought 1,000,000 times. Y'all ain't gonna get no slick bullshit on me. That's the same commission that approved Margarito gloves when he fought Shigeshi Mosley, when he fought Cotto. And remember, it took Shigeshi Mosley trainer to bust Margarito cheating. This is the same commission that approved Foster opponent Roman tampering with his gloves. They approved them gloves, and it took his trainer Bobby Benton to bust his trainer to bust Roman cheat, which is this took place last year in 2020, right? So we see incidents from the roster incident to the Roman incident to this day. We constantly see this pattern of the commission not doing their job. And you got to understand, we're not talking about this sport is a football, soccer. You're not playing with one ball. You need two cojones to hop inside of that ring because you putting your life on the line. You're not going to go in the ring and like, okay, I'm going to have a field day. No. You don't play boxing. You got to live boxing. You got to breathe boxing. You got to shit boxing. You got to think boxing. You got to watch boxing if you're going to box because it's that dangerous. So when Wilder said, I want to catch a body, they were so highly offensive at that. Wilder said what? Wilder said, when Floyd said the same thing, Floyd said, man, he said, I was ready to die every time I stepped in the ring. Floyd said, every time I fought in that ring, I was ready to die. Because that's the type of mindset you have to have. Before I lose, I'd rather die. Like that's how Floyd's mindset was. Not just Floyd, Ali. Ali used to tell all his opponents, if you're gonna fight me, increase your insurance. So I mean, it's like a nicer way of saying what Wilder said, but the point is they made a big deal about what Wilder said, and the WBC was trying to strip Wilder of his belt. And then Fury cheats. There's evidence, there's DNA evidence of the scene of the crime. They don't even want to investigate. After Wilder comes out with the evidence we provided, new media that is, they still living in denial. They still want to deflect. They still want to talk about things that can't be proven. That's secondary, such as the water, so on and so forth. When we're talking about, hey, look at the gloves, man. I mean, if you are blessed of having a vision, why are you acting like Stevie Wonder in 2020 or 2021 if you have 2020 vision? So, again, like I said, at the end of the day, this is all part of God's plan. Because when the trilogy arrives, you best believe Fury, his confidence is in the mud because he cheated, he was running for his life, and now he got to fight Wilder on an even playing field. On the other hand, Deontay Wilder, his confidence is through the roof. Seeing how Fury was trying to run for his life, knowing that he cheated, Wilder's confidence is on another level. And now he's even working on his technique to secure the victory. Oh, man, it's case closed.
No, I think it's definitely going to be I hope the fight happens, man. There should be no way that it doesn't happen. With the arbitration,
the only way,
honestly, bro, you were the only one spitting the truth about the arbitration.
And they told me I was crazy.
I didn't hear that from nobody.
Yeah, they were saying I'm crazy. I kept telling people, and I'm not a lawyer. So if I know these things just based on factual information, I was presenting factual information of what Bob said. I was presenting factual information, what Frank said, and just things that took place. I put the timeline in order, how the mediation stopped the Kabali fight. And all I was doing is making a whole lot of sense, putting the truth together like puzzle. And they were still telling me, oh, AKHi, you lying. That's a narrative. Yeah, you dummy. The narrative is the whole absolute truth. That's the narrative. You keep talking about this is the narrative you pushing. Yeah, my narrative I'm pushing is the whole absolute truth. Everything I say is a fact. I don't say nothing out of my mouth that is not factual. But you say everything that's opinionated. It's nothing but an opinion. And we know opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. But they kept telling me I'm delusional. It's crazy because my arbitration videos and Glovegate videos got the most dislikes of, I mean, I think they got more dislikes than likes. I'm presenting the truth with evidence, with articles, with photos, with DNA evidence, you name it. The evidence was overwhelming. There was a mountain full of evidence, and they still said I was delusional, I'm lying, but they kept coming back to the truth though, because they're allergic to it. They'd be the first one to click on my videos just to call me all type of names without pointing out what they disagree with when I'm saying everything that's factual, because they can't go against the truth. So they rather deflect instead because they want to live in denial.
Exactly. That's how that shit be.
Hey, call in.
I got another question for you,
Blake. Lord Blake. Call in, Lord Blake. Yeah, go ahead.
What you think about this fight that's coming up this week with Taylor and Ramirez? Who you got in that one?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good ass fight, man. This is fun, disputed. I can't wait.
That's gotta be a good ass fight.
That's gonna be a good fight, but I ain't gonna lie. I think Josh
betting
Taylor,
lines
man,
are close as shit.
Yeah. Oh, you put your money on Josh Taylor because I really think he pulls this one off. He's really special, man. I think he really pound for pound quality. I'm gonna break down that fight. I'm gonna go live later on this week, but I got Josh Taylor all day. What about you?
I mean, bro, honestly, I don't really know too much about the fight. I just always check the betting land. So that's how you know it.
Yeah, well, if
they got this show pretty close to even.
How can I bet, man? I need to bet on this fight if the odds are this close.
They had Taylor. I think the last time I saw he was like -2 something, 10. Which I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I mean, it's a lot closer than the Canelo one or the Billy Joe one or the craziest one that I saw. They had Demetrius Andre the other day when he fought Liam Williams. They had him like -200, bro. I slammed him so hard, and he was not getting exposed. Like he was getting touched up and shit. Yeah. Like you knew the judges weren't gonna let him lose.
Right. That's sort of. But I mean, Andre won that fight comfortably though. But yeah, I mean, if the odds are close with the Josh Taylor fight, I will put money down on Josh Taylor. But I do need to figure out how to bet on this. What app do you use?
I mean, you can use Bovada. Where are you located? New York?
Yeah.
I mean, they gotta have Bovada. You probably bet on DraftKings.
Okay,
I mean, I have like my homeboys that are bookies and shit, and in Florida we can go to the Hard Rock and stuff. Bet.
Yes, sir.
All right. Travel like a few miles down on a plane.
Hey, well, do me a favor, man. Call in later on this week when I do a prediction on it. We could talk about that fight and break it down more so, because I really want to talk about it and break it down while I'm picking Josh Taylor. All right.
And then I got one more question for you. Just make it a quick answer.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Billy Joe quit on the stool?
Well, I wouldn't say he quit because look, I'm be honest with you.
He retired.
Like to me, I wouldn't say he retired either because we don't know if he did or didn't. I will say is at the end of the day, look, losing your vision is not worth it just to prove your pride or how tough you are as a man. Because if he already had problems seeing from one eye, obviously you could tell he wasn't gonna be able to survive the fight. I mean, he was doing really good during the fight. I had him winning 5 rounds, and I had Canelo winning 2, and then Canelo caught him with that shot. And I was worried about that shot all night. In fact, my prediction, I said that's the punch you got to be careful of because Canelo. I mean, you saw it from round 1. He was throwing the uppercut, and Billy Joe Saunders should have adjusted, but again, he didn't adjust to that. And you could tell Canelo studied Billy Joe Saunders. He knew he was vulnerable for that punch because every time he ducks the right hand, he ducks low. So Canelo was trying to set him up for that punch all night. He studied him. It's a drill that Canelo does for that punch in particular. So he was ready for Billy Joe, right? But the point I'm trying to make, it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's not worth it. You lose your vision for what? But I will say this though, the point I was making on my video, I wasn't really calling him a quitter. I was just holding him to his words, because karma is
his word.
You know, karma is the B word. And what I mean by that, when this heavyweight fighter, I forgot his name.
Yeah, one of the heavyweights over there.
Yeah, Dubois.
He caught him.
Dubois.
He said he quit on the stool.
Yeah, Dubois. He got hit with a lot of jabs, and you know he was getting hit with jabs all night. He gassed out. His eyes swelled and it looked horrible, way crazier than Billy Joe Saunders' eye looked. And Billy Joe called him a quitter, and he said, "I will never quit. I will go out on my shield." And that's why they say karma is the B word, because he had that same situation. He was living that same moment, and he chose to, quote, quit, according to him, because he called Dubois a quitter. So I was only saying that he quit based upon his own words and his own expectations of himself, of him claiming that he will go out on his shield and he won't quit like Dubois, which is why I just said, you know, me personally, I mean, I'd rather quit before I lose my vision, because the blessing of having a vision to me is way more than just proving you a tough guy. But then you obviously got a guy like Muhammad Ali who rather dies in the ring instead of, you know, giving up, like when he did with Frazier for the third time. He said that was the closest thing to death, and he still got up and having a poker face. So people are cut from a different cloth. That's why I just report boxing. You know, I teach boxing, but I don't box myself because, like I said, it takes a different breed to do this, you know. So that's my answer to that.
Exactly. All good, brother. I'll call in later this week.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
the call, brother.
All right, take care now.
George.
How you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I am. This is Nasser. I'm calling from Kansas City.
Yes, sir. Wa alaikum assalam. So, talk to me. What you got in your mind?
Well, you know, one thing about Tyson Fury is that, you know, time and time again, Tyson Fury had displayed that he has no honor. So, you know, in terms of, you know, honoring the rematch clause that was already in place, I mean, he was trying to negate from it and, you know, trying to go in a different direction. And I just think that overall, I feel like with, you know, what took place and, you know, with Wilder having his, you know, his skull dented, I just think that he gave him more time to actually, you know, recover from, you know, from that injury. And, you know, I think it turned out well for Wilder. In the meantime, you know, Tyson Fury was just basically, you know, stringing along his fans and all the fans that really wanted to see the fight. So, you know, it just makes him look really bad.
And yeah, that's a great point you brought up, because I was going to talk about that when the fight get closer. But since you brought it up, I do want to touch on it a little bit, which is the layoff. See, in the trilogy, yeah, Fury definitely gave Wilder a favor. He did Wilder a favor big time, because with the dent and the type of damage he received from Fury, tampered gloves in the rematch, Wilder needed time to recover anyway. So it would have been on Fury's best interest to try to fight Wilder as soon as possible, because he was so physically damaged, physically and mentally at that moment in time, because he had to figure out a whole lot of things. Like, he was figuring out by new media that, damn, this man cheated. And then he figured out, oh, man, you know, I got betrayed by my own people. It was just so much going on. So he had to deal with a whole lot. He had to soak it in. He had to figure things out and recover physically and mentally. On the other hand, Fury, everything was already going on the right direction. So it would have been wise on his end to do the right thing, honor the rematch clause, and fight, you know, Wilder again, make a whole lot of money. And remember, he did the same thing with Klitschko. Klitschko, he was supposed to honor his rematch, and he went elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? So again, we know And the fact that he lied, I mean, this man dropped a video yesterday, right before he was ordered to fight Wilder. He said he gonna fight. The AJ fight was official. You know, so we constantly see a pattern of a liar, a thief, a cheater, and you name it. But at the end of the day, I think the layoff, it helped Wilder recover, and more importantly, it hurt Tyson Fury because he relies on reflexes. So now when you fighting someone that could end your night with one punch, you have to be perfect all night. Now that you no longer have the same power, it's going to be harder for you to keep him off of you. So Wilder's going to be more confident throwing, and now Wilder they might gonna get to an exchange or two. Fury can't afford to get hit.
Exactly.
Wilder could afford to get hit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and Fury timing will be off. Fury timing will be off because it's been such a long layoff. If Wilder timing is off, it's okay because he's not like a fancy boxer and relies on reflexes, so on and so forth. Fury does though. Fury, he dodging bullets, a bazooka. I mean, he trying to dodge a bomb. You know what I'm saying? Wilder, if he get hit, it is what it is. I mean, it can't get worse than Luis Ortiz rematch, I don't think, or the first fight. I don't see Fury being that skillful or hit that hard to do any type of damage to Wilder where he really has to worry about the layoffs, so on and so forth. But Fury definitely do, because he has to be perfect all night. And it only takes one. If you're not perfect for 1 second, the night is over.
Absolutely. And to your point, with with Fury, that it would have been in his best interest to kind of catch Wilder while he was still in doubt of how good he really is, or what really happened, what took place, and how did I lose in such a way. So for him to sit around and string along the fence while Wilder, I'm assuming, is getting better. Getting better. I know he's seeking more, more help in terms of tweaking his boxing skills. And to your point, I mean, Tyson Fury, it's very rare that Tyson Fury ever sits down on his punches, because he's always thinking about pulling out. He's always thinking about just touching you and moving around. And while he's very effective at what he does, I don't think power is, the most, the scariest thing that you can, receive from Tyson Fury. And the fact that he sat around for this long, to your point, I feel like, he's not going to be that, he's not going to be very sharp, and he's not going to be able to, hop around the way he could have. And he just went back in, say maybe within, 6 months after, after the second fight. So, yeah, I just think that it's gonna look really bad for Tyson Fury in a third rematch.
Yeah, Fury is definitely regretting the fact that he didn't fight Wilder when he was supposed to, and he postponed the fight and continued to push the fight forward in order to delay the inevitable. But we already know what time it is. Like I said, you could cheat your way to success, but eventually karma will catch up with you. I mean, you could just imagine. I mean, just with everything we mentioned, also on top of that, the mindset, like Wilder is thinking revenge. Tyson Fury, on the other hand, he's feeling guilt. He's thinking about guilt. He's feeling the guilt in his soul because he like, man, this can't turn out any good for me. I cheated to get here. I cheated this man twice. And he said he believed in God. I know he knows God don't like cheaters. So it's like he going in with a conscious mind of cheating. He has a guilt of cheating. So that's going to haunt him throughout the lead up. Wilder exposing him is going to haunt him throughout the lead up. On the other hand, Wilder is full of confidence. Revenge. He can't, man, I'm pretty sure he boiling to get his hands on Fury. You know what I mean? Like he could have been sued Tyson Fury for cheating. I've been telling people, Wilder said out of his own mouth, he could have been sued Tyson Fury for cheating, for Glovegate, and he will. But he said he got to get his hands. He said he want his shit back in blood. We know this. The second best thing in life, or maybe the first best thing in life, is getting revenge. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this is not about money. This is more about legacy. And this win will be one of, if whoever wins this fight, I'm telling you, this fight, the win will be the most significant win of the century because of what's on the line.
Yeah, it's
because of what's on the line. Like
right.
Fury wins, he semi justifies him cheating previously because he beat Wilder a third time. They're not gonna say, "Oh, Wilder got a dent head. He's no longer the same." No, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he beat him fair and square." What y'all got to say now? If Wilder knocks him out,
Yeah,
it's like it's the biggest, it's the sweetest revenge. Put it that way, and the win will be so significant. I'm telling you, like I said before, I talk to people every day on the net and in real life. Forget about Tyson Fury fans.
Yeah.
Forget about Tyson Fury fans. Forget about Deontay Wilder haters. Tyson Fury fans, AKA the Wilder haters. We talking about Wilder own fans. We talking about Wilder biggest, supporters in the industry, like from boxers. They turned their back on them. I mean, I don't want to put everybody on blast, like from all the names of the fighters that was just that wrote him off and pretty much turned their back on him. But other than Errol Spence and Floyd Mayweather, who gave him words of encouragement, everybody turned their back on him, including his own people. They saying he's delusional. So this is how sweet this win going to be if he pulls it off.
Right. And the thing is this, right? And I know you don't have to say the name, but I'm insignificant, so I'm gonna drop a name. And I know Andre Ward was one of the guys, that basically tried to debunk or trying to invalidate what he was saying in terms of cheating, and the Max Kellerman of the world, and all of those guys, tried to really downplay the significance of what really took place. And for Tyson Fury, I mean, if you are a fighter of that caliber, fighting in a championship fight, and don't have the confidence to really try to beat this man on an even playing field, I mean, what kind of what does that say about you? And in addition to that, right? In addition to that, the irony of all this is not to go back all that far, but think about it. The first time Wilder flatlined him, right? That could have been, instead of the referee trying to resuscitate the guy, if he had just counted from 1 to 10 like he is required to do, this rematch probably would not have took place to begin with. And to add on top of that, Wilder did him a favor. He did him a solid to bring him back. The guy was like 500 pounds. He motivated him. He afforded him the opportunity to fight for the belt and bring him back into the game. And for him to do all this, that just shows you what kind of individual, what kind of person Tyson Fury is.
And it just shows you the character he is, but also for old media and the public, and even Andre Ward, because I'm disappointed in the things he said. What does that promote? Like, let's all be honest. What does that promote at the end of the day? Like, Fury taking steroids, Fury cheating, tampering with his gloves. What does that promote? It promotes cheating. So kids growing up, they justifying cheating. Like, they saying to the public, to the kids that's watching, it's okay to cheat. Yeah, man, you don't got to work hard, get out of the mud, and do all the right things in order to be successful. No, you could cheat to be successful. That's what they pretty much are telling the youth. This is the message they putting out.
Yep.
Instead of holding Fury responsible of the criminal act he committed. This is not a laughable manner. Wilder life was on the line. But again, Tyson Fury got the complexion for the connection to get the ultimate protection. They telling us, don't believe your eyes, 100%. Believe what you hear. Believe what we telling you guys on the news. They continue to brainwash the fans. Just believe what you hear. Don't believe your eyes. Even absolutely. Old media knows. Old media knows that they know the truth deep inside. They could lie to the public. The keyboard warriors could lie on the net, but they all know the truth deep inside, because just like you and me, they got eyes. They could see the truth just like me and you. But again, it's not about the truth. They rather live in denial. this is mean more than just a victory to them. They felt like this is the Rocky Balboa in real life. They felt like this victory was equivalence of having a Rocky Balboa in real life. So they felt like, man, no, we're not going to let them take this win away from us. That's why when you see Fury, like a lot of people keep questioning why they continue to lie to the public, promoting a false narrative that's not going to take place. Well, delaying the inevitable. Why they keep promoting lies? A lot of people keep questioning, why were they promoting lies? Why was old media promoting lies? Again, they are trying to hold on to this win for dear life. This win meant to them more than anything, because it was a fighter like a Jeffrey, for example, beating a Jack Johnson in our day and time. That's how they felt about it. It means more than just a W. It means more than just the fight. So they trying to hold on to this win for dear life. This is why the WBC president said this win is the best win of the century, one of the best wins of the century. You can't take it away from us. I don't care if Fury cheated. You can't take it away from us. This is what the WBC said pretty much. Because, again, he revealing the truth. Because, in other words, he's saying, look, we never had a win on this level where a fighter from the hope list beats a fighter on the coincidental list. So you're not going to take it away from us, period. I don't care what you do. It ain't like, you got to think about it. Like, they say Wilder is a bum. They say Wilder don't have skills. They say Wilder is this. They say Wilder is that. I didn't heard it all. So why y'all giving Fury so much credit? If y'all saying Wilder is a bum, why is this one of the best wins of the century? It don't make sense. If Wilder is a bum, then Fury beat a bum. It's not one of the best wins of the century. Now, if Wilder is one of the greatest of all time and Fury beats one of the greats, then yeah, it's one of the best wins of the century because of the fashion he did it in. But they want to call Wilder a bum, but they still want to give Fury the credit as if he beat an all-time great. You can't have it both ways. We know what time it is, and that's why they afraid as much as Fury from the trilogy. Put it that way. But like I said, the truth will always prevail.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I truly believe that, Wilder, just from what took place, it's no longer business. It's no longer, boxing. For him, I think it's truly personal. And he's really, I think he's going to come in a really tip-top shape. And I think he's going to put, some serious hurting on this man.
Yes,
and to be honest, though, I'm a boxing fan. And in terms of technicality, in terms of being technically sound, Wilder, Fury is, the much better, boxer. But, at that level as a heavyweight, like you said, all it takes is one mistake, one shot in terms of that equalizer, and Wilder got that, he's got that. I don't even know what to call it, but he's got that hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He got, the one-hitter quitter, the hammer from Alabama, So like I said, it only takes one. He's arguably one of the hardest hitters. So if he adds uppercut to his game, if he hides the right hand with hooks, like the way he does on the pads right now, the way he's working, it feints, I'm talking about like real feints, like you selling, like you throwing a punch, but you feinting. You're going to feint him out of position. You're going to feint him to see what he's going to do next and catch him with that bomb squat.
Right.
At the end of the day, Wilder got a lot of tools to work with because he has an equalizer with the talent he has, as gifted as he is. So, like I said before, man, I can't wait. Man, I've been waiting on this fight to this day. Hey, Judgment Day is coming, but let me read the super chat real quick. My man said Fury rocked him to sleep the first time. The first two times took him off his guard, was acting all chummy with Wilder, then cheated. Yes, sir. That's what he did, man. That's part of if you're gonna cheat, man, be buddy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So Fury said, I'm gonna dip my hands in gasoline before the fight. He said, I'm gonna dip my hands in gasoline. That's how I'm gonna knock him out. When he was asked, you really believe you're gonna knock Wilder out? He said, yeah, I'm gonna dip my hands in gasoline and knock him out. Yeah, he definitely did dip his hands in gasoline. But that being
He,
said, anything
he
else you want
definitely.
to say? Because I got a lot of callers.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't want to hold you up too long. I did wanted to ask you a question. God damn, I lost my train of thought. Uh, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to give other
Man, now
people a
I want
chance.
to
I
hear your
really did
question.
wanted to ask you a question.
You don't remember the question?
Yeah, it really. I mean, just listening to you, it kind of just slipped my mind.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
actually, quickly. So how much do you think? I mean, it doesn't make to me. I've heard you saying this, and I don't think it makes any sense in terms of what Bob Arum is trying to present. Saying that we're not gonna, pay him aside, set aside money. Instead, we're gonna try to work into a contract where he gets to fight the winner. But does he have? If say, I mean, if Joshua wins, right? Provided that these two guys fight, if Joshua wins, how can he have any say so of what takes place if his fighter does not win and he has no say so over Joshua? How does that even make sense?
Well, he pretty much. I'm assuming Bob is pretty much saying they're gonna work a deal with Joshua and Fury to agree to fight Wilder next, whoever the winner is. That's what I'm assuming. But that's not even the major obstacle. The major obstacle is that the arbitration decision was final. In other words, the judge made his decision to order Fury to fight Wilder a third time. So he's bonded to give Wilder the trilogy. Therefore, whatever Bob says is not his say so. Remember, Bob was one of he was one of the main people that was saying that arbitration can't prevent the AJ fight from coming to fruition. That's what he said 4 months ago. And last week he said, I hope the arbitration judge allow us to fight AJ. So it was already a change of tune. Like, hold on, you said, why are you hoping he's going to allow you to fight AJ? I thought you said he can't stop you or prevent you from fighting AJ. And then now he claiming, yeah, we're not going to pay him no step aside money. We just going to smash him and then fight AJ. So you constantly see contradictions by Bob. I think he's just playing politics again. Also, he's Tyson Fury promoter. So Tyson Fury told him, do whatever it takes for me to escape this fight. I don't want this fight. And Bob is trying to, but he couldn't. Again, he trying his best, but he can't.
Yeah, last point is I also think that what's his name, Hearn, Eddie Hearn. I think is being a sucker for being for allowing Bob Arum to string him along for for this long, just just to try to get this fight, even though he knows there's a lot of certainty. So I just think that he's being a sucker for for being a victim, and I just want to wish you quickly happy Eid belated Mubarak, my brother.
Eid Mubarak, my brother, man. Look, man, I enjoyed talking with you. You got to call back, man. I think this is my first time speaking with you, but you definitely got to call back. I'm going to go live later this week and do a prediction on the fight. So make sure you call back, man.
Yes, sir. I will. I look forward to it, my man.
Yes, sir. Alaikum salam, my brother.
All
right. Let me go ahead. Man, I'm having a lot of callers, man. Man, we have a lot of people in the house today. So I'm going to try to get as many calls as I can. How you doing, AKHi? What this is and where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Ak? It's Perry from Harlem.
From Harlem, what's going on?
Perry.
Talk to me. Well,
big bro.
Yes, let me hit you with this. Eddie Hearn came out and said the plan B now is to fight Usyk. He said they're gonna wait another week to see if the AJ fight versus Fury can come to fruition. He said hopefully they allow them to, and if not, he's gonna look forward to a plan B, a plan C. He said you can't blame me when it comes to this because Bob insured me and Tyson Fury team insured me that the arbitration can't prevent the AJ fight from coming to fruition. Now, first of all, what's your thoughts on what Eddie Hearn had to say?
Yeah, right now Eddie Hearn is giving it back to Bob because I think it was about a week ago where Bob kind of seen where this shit was gonna go, and he was saying, "Yo, it's your man Eddie." Saying he's not getting nothing done. This dude he's lying. He's playing games. I'm tired of it. We might just go on and just go ahead and fight Wilder. So this is Eddie's way are taking digs back at Bob. Like, see, it wasn't me. It's actually Bob. And he's the one that said that he seen a loophole in the contract and he could do this, that, and the third, and he didn't come through. So that, they taking little digs at each other right now. But they both in bed together. They both got Wilder blacklisted. And Anthony Joshua is scared of Wilder too. He don't want to fight Wilder either.
Yeah, Wilder, of course, AJ, like I said, I already reported on this. He turned down the fight on more than one occasion. He turned down the offer by Wilder, and he turned down his own offer. It's one thing to turn down an offer given to you that you asked for, but it's another to turn down an offer you sent. That makes no sense at all. He turned down $50 million when he asked for 50 plus 50-50 split on pay-per-view, and then he turned down his own offer he sent Wilder of 15,000. Excuse me, of 15,000 flat. No, 15 million flat. But nevertheless, when it comes to Eddie Hearn, it's mind-blowing that Eddie now want to blame Bob, which, okay, it's cool. You want to say you wasn't informed, but new media kept informing the public, and my videos went viral when it comes to the mediation. When it came to a whole lot of videos, they went viral because I was one of the few guys that was telling the truth with Deontay, new medias, and stuff like that. So they knew what time it is because Eddie Hearn is a promoter. He'd been in this situation before. Remember, Ruiz, when he was trying to escape the rematch with Anthony Joshua didn't activate the rematch clause as fast as Deontay Wilder did. It took Anthony Joshua 2 months to activate the rematch clause with Ruiz. On the other hand, it took Wilder 1 week. I reported it. 1 week, he activated his rematch clause right away to fight Fury in a trilogy. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn already knows because he, like I said, he lived a similar, experience with Ruiz. Ruiz tried to escape the fight at all costs. He said, "I'm not gonna fight Anthony Joshua in the UK." He requested $50 million to fight Anthony Joshua again, knowing that there was a rematch clause in place. He also, like I said, he threatened to take it to court, stuff and stuff like that. Remember when Eddie Hearn did a press conference solo in Saudi Arabia? AJ wasn't there, Ruiz wasn't there, and Eddie Hearn was the only one there. It was the loneliest press conference in history. So Eddie Hearn, he experienced a similar situation that Wilder is going through. So for him to completely ignore the arbitration, knowing how serious the matter is, and completely ignore it, knowing that there was a rematch clause in place, a bonding clause that Fury was binded to give Wilder a trilogy, Eddie Hearn completely ignored all the factual information and believed supposedly what Bob told him. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't know what kind of games they playing, but it fired back on Eddie because Eddie, for the past 6 months, he kept telling the public, next week, we're going to announce the fight. Next week, we're going to announce the fight. Next week, we're going that mountain. I'm like, man, damn, bro, I kept seeing the same headline for almost a year. 6 months. I kept saying the same headline for 6 months of Eddie saying the fight is going to happen next week. It's going to be announced next week. It was pushed from May to June to July to September and then to August. I don't know. They even try to say it's going to happen in November at one point. So we constantly see a pattern of inconsistency by Eddie Hearn and old media, and old media was loving it. They were soaking it in, ignoring all the factual information. How crazy is it that beside Behind the Gloves, Michelle, beside her, nobody from old media asked Eddie Hearn the question, the $1 million question that the public want to know. What about the arbitration? Wouldn't it prevent the AJ fight from coming to fruition? Frank Warren said the arbitration can prevent the AJ fight from coming to fruition. What's your thoughts on that? Simple question that the public want to know. Remember, as a reporter, it's your job to ask the right questions. It's not like that. We're not asking them to bully Eddie or yell at Eddie. No. We're just asking them to do their job, like Behind the Gloves did. Michelle, she She asked Eddie, "What about the arbitration?" On more than one occasion, and that's how we heard Eddie played it off. Oh no, it's not going to prevent the fight from coming to fruition. And now they all looking like a bunch of fools because Eddie lived that same experience with Ruiz, and he was in Wilder position as his promoter, as AJ promoter. And he knows what it feels like when you're trying to fight someone that's trying to escape a rematch clause. We've seen it with Lennox Lewis and Raheem. I think that was his name. He tried to escape the rematch after he knocked out Lennox Lewis. We've seen this in history. No one could. No, you can't just break the law and like, okay, I'm gonna just walk away from the rematch clause. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So, what's your take on Eddie living through that experience and completely ignoring it?
It's pure devilishment. It's pure devilishment. You know, the whole situation on the part of Eddie Hearns, the media, and the fans of Tyson Fury is all devilishment and it's hypocrisy. I mean, when AJ got knocked out by the Spanish dude, the Mexican cat, you know, and the Mexican cat was talking about fighting somebody else after that, they was like, "Oh no, we got a rematch clause." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they wasn't trying to hear that. But when it's this man with the same, when this man is in the same situation, it's like, "Oh no, we gonna get over." You know what I'm saying? Then you gonna act like he's doing something wrong when you wouldn't stand for it. So it's biasness. It's a double standard. It's hypocrisy. And it's straight up and damn devilishment. You know, and that's why I want Wilder to win and knock this dude out so bad. And it should be easy, you know, because Fury, he's not as heavy as he was in the first two fights. That played a role in the fight, besides him cheating, you know. And also, Fury is a good boxer. He's a good mover. But we know that man ain't got no power. He ain't got no power. So he got to mix devilishment with what he already got. Now, I'll give it to him. He is a good boxer. You know, even Lennox Lewis trainer said that, you know, the brother that died, Emmanuel Stewart, he trained Fury. He said, you know, Fury does have something. He's a good boxer. He's one of those guys. Yeah, he's hard to hit, you know, but that's not going to save you. You know, he knew he needed something extra. So, like I said, him not being as heavy, like you said earlier, the little layoff for Wilder, a lot of people saying, "Oh, nah, Wilder need a tune-up fight." I don't think he do. I think, like you said, the layoff is actually good. It was actually good for him. He actually did him a favor. That allowed him to heal up a little bit. And I'm not really worried about Fury really hurting Wilder because we know that man ain't got no power. So I just want to see the media, the fans of Fury, and Eddie Hearn and Bob and that whole camp. I want to see them all have egg on their face. And then I want Wilder to fight AJ next and knock his ass out because AJ is scared to death of Wilder as well. You know?
Yeah. Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, you always got to remember, you brought up the trainer, may he rest in peace. He was, I don't know, I think it was him. Yeah, it was. He was famously known of saying, one of my favorite quotes, "If you box, you're going to get hit. Just like if you swim, you're going to get wet." Like, look, at the end of the day, you could only avoid so many punches. Eventually, you're going to get caught. Eventually, you're going to have to take one. And that one is all she wrote, especially with an improved Wilder and a Fury not on steroids or tampering with his gloves. So at the end of the day, I mean, there's so much on the line, but like I said, it's all part of God's plan. And you got to remember, ain't no way a cheater is going to prevail at the end of the day. That's not how it works on movies and not in real life. And this is definitely going to be a movie in real life. Put it that way. So at the end of the day, you see Eddie Hearn. He said he's still ignoring the arbitration ruling, saying we need to know by this week. What do you need to know? He said we still here if we he told Bob and Fury we still here if not we move on. Like let us know by this week. What do you need to know? The arbitration judge already ordered Tyson Fury to fight Wilder. What else you need to know? I mean, it's like I said, like they just ignore the factual information and the truth and rather live in denial. It makes no sense at all for you to hear the freaking ruling, but act clueless. Oh yeah, we would need a heat. What do you think Fury gonna do? How is Fury gonna ignore the ruling by the arbitration judge that's bonding? Like I said, at the end of the day, the Hope Insurance, I know it's fully covered. It erases history of their favorite fighters cheating. It erases losses like Lomachenko. It ranks their favorite fighters higher on the pound for pound list. It creates WBC, NBF witness protection franchise. I mean, it's so much corruption, right? But that Hope Insurance is not going to save you in the court of law. When you're in the court of law and there's factual information, they go based upon the factual information. They don't care what kind of Hope Insurance you have. That only works with old media and the public. But when it comes to the court of law, you're going to get treated just like the next person that you're going to go up against. And Wilder he had his evidence and factual information. Bob Arum, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. And that's the best way I could put it. Kevin Hartway, he wasn't ready. you know what I mean? So just like Canelo when he said I was born ready. Yeah, Bob, he didn't know what was coming toward his way. He wasn't ready for that arbitration. Hey, but
Right.
yes, sir. But let me get to the last. I got a few callers. I only got 10 minutes left, so let me get to them. But make sure you call back this Thursday, all right?
All right, brother. Peace. Shalom.
Walaikum assalam, brother.
See you later.
I see you. Shout out to my AKHi Williams. Okay, man. He been here for a hot minute. What the hell? How you doing, AKHi?
Yo, what's up, AKHi?
Yes, sir. What's going on? Talk to me.
Oh, it's B. Oh, it's B from Vegas. I missed your last split decision. I guess what's it called? The Billy Joe Saunders fight, right? I said he quit. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
You had
I
it
think
right on
quit.
point. Yeah, man. Hey, you had it right on point, bro. I thought I picked up a call later on when I did the blow by blow episode, and I thought it was you, the person that called, but it turned out not to be you. But yeah, man, that was right on, man. That was spot on. But do me a favor, make sure you call in this Thursday or Friday. I think I'm gonna do it Thursday. I'm gonna go live and we're gonna do a prediction for Josh Taylor versus Ramirez. So we'll see if you could get your streak going with your prediction, because that was right on point, man.
All right.
Yes. Hey, but let me hit you with this news. Eddie Hearn, Frank Warrant are blaming Bob Arum for losing the case to Deontay Wilder. What's your thoughts on that?
It is Bob Arum and Fury's fault. Like, he should have fought him, because Anthony Joshua, he fought like Pulev. He already got rid of Pulev, and he was already clear for the fight. Fury, he could have just fought Wilder, and if he was so confident that he could beat him, he called him like a duster. I don't even know what a duster means, but he called him that. He said he's not good, but he was running from him this whole time. But Eddie Hearn, like, he's acting like he didn't know anything. Like, you knew they had like, what's it called, a rematch clause. So he should have known at least some. He shouldn't just be like, oh, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. Like, so it's mostly on Bob's part, but like, Eddie can't be that dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, I know Akon, Blame It On Me is their favorite song right now, because they'll be all blaming it on each other, because it makes no sense at all. First of all, Frank did the right thing. I got to give him credit. He did mention, listen, the arbitration can prevent the AJ fight from coming to fruition. And that came into play. And it actually ended up happening, right? Bob, let's not even talk about him. He kept pretending that there's no case, ignoring the arbitration matter when he's a freaking lawyer, graduated from Harvard. I mean, it's like you can't make it up, right? Eddie, on the other hand, like I said, he's been in similar situations like this before. This is not like something like he just woke up one day and now he clueless. No, he a promoter. He been in this situation, so he knows a rematch clause is binding. So if a rematch clause is binding, how the hell Fury can just go past Wilder, knowing that Wilder activated the rematch clause a week after the rematch with Fury? Bro, it's common sense. It's not like you don't need to be a genius or a judge to figure this type of information. It's like literally common sense. All you got to do is just put the information together. So the fact that Eddie has connections, Eddie knows the business, Eddie knows the law when it comes to the rematch clause, and for Eddie and Bob to completely ignore the rematch clause, I mean, we already know what time it is with Bob Arum. He wrote the contract. He knows what the contract says. He knows that the rematch clause was binding. Why ignore it? Like you said, Eddie, AJ promoter, he had his fighter fight Povetkin, or Pulev, excuse me. He had him fight Pulev in December. Fury, instead of fighting Wilder in December like they agreed to, this man tried to fight Kabali. And Wilder ended up stopping him from doing so with the mediation. And people kept telling me, no, that's not what it is. There was no funds. No funds. Y'all keep saying Fury's the biggest star, this and that and the third, and there's no fund for his fight. Well, if there's no funds for his fight, why he don't fight Wilder then? And obviously, the factual information was the mediation blocked the Kabali cherry pick from taking place, where Fury could have easily fought Wilder in like I said, last year in December, and now he will be cleared to fight AJ twice this year. However, again, he chose to go against the grain. He chose to go against the inevitable that was going to take place just to live a lie for the moment in time. I guess he wanted to celebrate his win as long as possible.
Yeah. Like, I feel like what Bob and Fury did, they just, like, tried to ignore Deontay and act like he didn't exist. And they're like, they think if they did that, he was just going to disappear and just leave him alone. But he didn't do that. So,
yeah.
What's it called? Bob, earlier, he was like, oh, we're gonna have him step aside. We're gonna step aside money. He would need like 75 mil for that, because Deontay's not gonna trust Bob no more, or Fury, because if he can't even get a rematch after a rematch clause inside the contract, how are they gonna give him a fight
against
after
against the winner,
Joshua Fury?
Yeah, man, that's a great point. It's so funny, man. If Fury is not gonna honor a rematch clause that's already binding, how the hell you expect him to honor a fight after he fights Joshua? As far as I know, AJ Fury's gonna retire. He's just gonna go to retirement. What, they're gonna pull him out of retirement? Oh no, don't retire. Fight Wilder. No. And Fury already said he want to retire after the Joshua fight anyway. So who the hell gonna trust that guy? You know what I mean? That same guy who just lied to all his fans. Remember, Fury and Bob Arum, including Eddie Hearn, they made old media look like a bunch of fools. Untrustworthy, unreliable, because they kept promoting a lie as factual information, as it's going to take place, as it's the inevitable that's going to take place, ignoring the factual information in the process with the arbitration. Like I said, Fury made all his fans look like a bunch of fools. You Fury fans, aka the Wilder haters, you guys should be really mad at Tyson Fury for making you guys look like a bunch of fools. Over here defending him, and he announcing that he going to fight AJ officially on August 14th, a day before he was ordered to fight. I mean, a day after, a day before he was ordered to fight Wilder by the arbitration judge. And the same day he was ordered, he's still posting AJ versus Fury fight in Saudi Arabia. It really doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, I don't know what kind of games Tyson Fury is playing, but it sounds like he's gonna probably use the whatchamacallit, the health issue, him falling to depression.
Mm-hmm.
He probably gonna use that card again, even though he already said he never had mental health issues before. So I guess that was just a nice story to cover up him cheating and taking steroids. But with that being said, any last thoughts before I pick up the last caller?
I don't know. It just don't make sense. I knew it was cap. I wasn't gonna believe anything unless I saw a card with an undercard, a date. I wasn't gonna believe anything under that.
Man, listen, bro. They said the fight was signed. Remember that? They said they signed a 2-fight deal. How you gonna claim that they signed a contract and then a month or two later you still claiming they need to sign documents? What? I thought they already signed the contract. If you're only looking for an investor, once the investor is available, that's it. It's on. You already agreed. When you sign a contract, it will include every little detail, like the date, the venue, the glove, the trunks. I don't care what it is. It will include it in the contract. Every little detail, the hotel, everything. So how you sign a contract, but then you need to sign other documents. Oh, we're still waiting on the contract. What? You already signed the contract. So it was just too many lies by old media. And it was just pathetic, man. But I'm glad the truth revealed itself. And like I said before, the truth eventually come out. But hey, man, my time is up. I appreciate you for calling in. Make sure you call back this Thursday because I want to get your prediction on Taylor versus Ramirez. All right?
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care.
Take care, my brother. Last caller. How you doing, AKHi? You got 2 minutes, my brother. You got 2 minutes. What's going on? Who this is and where you calling from?
AKHi. What it do, brother? It's your boy Jay. How you been, man?
Oh man, Jay, man, we've been missing in action, man. Glad to have you back on Split Decision. So you have 2 minutes. Let the public know how you feel about this whole arbitration case because it deserves its own documentary. If we all being honest, we never seen this before where the mediation and arbitration dragged over this long and they still trying to avoid the trilogy with Wilder to this day. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, AKHi, I'm glad you brought that up, my brother. To all the decals listening in, we back. We stronger and we better than ever. And to answer your question, brother, to be honest with you, brother, this is honestly just some kind of, to me, it's just a kind of setup to freaking avoid Wilder. This is all a setup to avoid Wilder. Wilder already won the arbitration. And on top of that, Wilder is more skillful than he is before. I heard people in the chat talking about Deontay Wilder is 35 and he's too old to learn more skills. Have you guys seen what he's doing now? He knows combination sequences now. He's doubling up on the hook. He's doubling up on the jab. He's pivoting. He's using head movement. He's stepping back and stepping back in. He's stepping in with his jab now. Wilder's more dangerous now than he was before. I mean, it's going to take a little bit longer, but I think he's more dangerous than he is before. And as far as the Fury situation goes, man, all you DKs out there running your mouths about freaking Tyson Fury and about him being pound for pound and him the best and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. For one, Canelo is in pound for pound. For two, Fury is in pound for pound. You know what I mean? The fighters on the hope list and on the fighters on the coincidental list, like Deontay Wilder, like freaking Jamal Charlo, like Jamel Charlo, like Errol Spence, you know, these are fighters that should be pound for pound. You know what I'm talking about? These are pound for pound fighters. They're naming guys that they're basically cherry picking for extra cash in the boxing industry. You know?
Yeah. Like I said, right. they have the hope insurance, but man, hey, make sure you call this Thursday because you know, I got 1 more minute left. Make sure you call this Thursday. We're gonna get your take on Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. Great talking with you. Great chatting it up with everybody. Make sure you call back, my brother. All right.
Already. Much love, AKHi. And much love to my brother OG Swag in the chat.
Yes, sir. Keeping them right. Keeping them check. Shout out to OG Swag. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about them. And if you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these decaps, including old media, because you will lose all your brain cells listening to them. With that being stated, shout out to Deontay, the entrepreneur of New Media that I'm a part of. New Media is the whole absolute truth. The narrative is the whole absolute truth. And AKHi always put it together like puzzle. every single time. So to be continued on the next episode, make sure you click on the notification bell, click on the like button. We got 700 people in the house till this day. And it better be at least 700, likes. I mean, we had almost 1,000 people in the house at one point. So don't hate, appreciate the movement, support. There's not too many media outlets that's gonna report nothing but factual information and the whole absolute truth, regardless of how people take it. It's gonna be the raw truth. Like I said, the truth can either be a medication where if you accept it, it will free you, or it will destroy and burn your emotional soul. So with that being said, subscribe below, click on the notification bell, and to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.